To give us a greater understanding of the ramifications of this week in politics, we're joined by our Ottawa Bureau Chief, Mercedes Stephenson. Mercedes, what are we learning?
Carolyn, in what has probably been the craziest week in politics that I've ever covered, we still have questions about what Justin Trudeau's future looks like. Speaking to a source who is close to him, I'm told that at this point the Prime Minister is not resigning and he's not going to prorogue, at least over the weekend. What the future holds is a bigger question. I've been told that over the course of this week, it started with him being very surprised by Chrystia Freeland's resignation, although he was very aware she was not happy with what he had told her about Mark Carney on Friday and that she'd not agreed to take on the new role or with those changes. He then vacillated throughout the week between seeming like he was definitely going to resign and being committed to staying on. Ultimately, he made the decision to shuffle the cabinet, which buys him some time and potentially takes away some of the sting of those who might criticize him who are now in the cabinet. However, I'm hearing there's a number of MPs who could be releasing letters in coming days who are unhappy with the fact that they didn't get into cabinet. Going forward, he has to make a decision about how to handle all of this, Carolyn.
So what's going on with the Prime Minister now then?
So basically now he decides, can he survive this? And honestly, I don't think that there are many people who believe that that's possible. They believe it's a matter of time until he resigns. And how he does that and how long he stays on is the question. The most likely scenario is probably him proroguing Parliament, which could last for a few months, staying as Prime Minister so there's somebody who the U.S. has the ability to talk to about tariffs and a stable hand on the tiller. That leadership race for the Liberals plays out, and then once the new leader is elected, he hands over to them. There's also a scenario where we plunge directly into an election as well. That is probably the least likely scenario at this point because the Liberal Party simply isn't ready. They don't have the candidates in place in a number of ridings to be able to go. And then, of course, there's the possibility that he could appoint an interim leader while there's a leadership race, but that would essentially remove the ability of him to talk to the U.S. Now, talking to Americans, including people who are involved in the incoming Trump administration, I'm told whoever is at the head of the government at this point is really regarded as a lame duck. They're expecting the new government, whoever that is, to come in shortly after an election, which will likely be sometime in the spring if Jagmeet Singh and Yves-François Blanchet follow through on their threats of bringing down the government, something the Conservatives obviously back.
Mercedes Stephenson in Ottawa, thank you.